My name is Joanie Porter, and I love three-dimensional design. There's a term called flow, and I learned this from my youngest daughter when she was in school. And to be in flow means that time ceases to exist, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing what you were made to do. And to me, I found that at several points in my life, mainly when I lost my fiance, and I found this place in South Florida where I could sculpt. I would go in at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I would just be in the studio. There wouldn't be a class, but I would be able to stay. And so all of a sudden it'd be 6 o'clock at night, and the time was gone because I was so immersed in doing what I was doing. And also there were other people that were just as immersed along with me, and we could talk to each other and say, how did you get that effect? How did you do this? What made you do this? You know, I love your work. You become inspired. And I think that's the thing about creativity, is where we find inspiration. I think that for a community to come together and to have an appreciation of artists, and to provide opportunity for people to experience the act of creativity, is crucial to a well-rounded society.
I am Cindy Welch. I went through a divorce that was really rough and went through a kind of recovery class, and they said, what is something that you love to do that you kind of gave up to raise your family and work and everything, and I got to thinking about it, and I thought I loved watercolor in art school. I think the process is the important part, to sit and really enjoy the process, and if you do that, then it's going to be beautiful no matter what you do. And everyone's art is so different and so unique, and that's what I love that about art. When I teach a class, we usually always paint all the same from the same photo, but everyone's painting comes out different because you can't help but have your style.
My name is Ava Skelton, and I'm an artist. The impact that art has on my life is it's able to connect me with the real world and provide me with an outlet to talk about like my issues, stuff that's going on, and it helps me express myself.
To be able to put pencil to paper or paint to paper, or touch some clay and work with other people, kids that are maybe going through the similar things, and it's a positive outlet rather than gravitating toward negative options, which I certainly did for a long time.
I really learned about the power of art to heal during the pandemic. I found that it was so healing to people to be able to join my Zoom class, see other artists, sit and create and clear their mind, and it really was a savior for me at that time too. The isolation and the fear that went along with it, to be able to come in my studio and just sit down and paint and create just freed up my mind and my spirit. And I knew that the classes were, really important to people, to have that time to be able to not only create but see other people and interact with other people.
I believe that art does have the power to heal people because it's so important to create, and not just 2D art, but also music and such really helps people express their emotions and get through hardships.
I've been widowed twice, and both times getting involved in art has been my salvation. The first time I was 50, and that's when I went back to school and got my degree in interior design. Everything you look at that is not made by nature, someone designed. I mean, the chair I'm sitting in, the fabric, everything, my shirt, my shoes, everything has been designed by someone. And so there's so much room. And then there are all the different arts. There's visual art, there's performing arts, music, dance, writing. I mean, these are all arts and these are all forms of expression. And I think that to become a well-rounded person, you really need to have access to the opportunity to try some of these things, to find out what you're drawn to and what you love.
To create a center for art is very important in communities because it helps the artists express their work and receive validation, and it also helps the people of the community see the art that people in their community are making.
I think it's important for artists to have an opportunity to share what they do. You know, if we, as a community, to be able to benefit from everyone's creativity, if we as artists create in our studios and never share it with anyone, it's a lost opportunity.
We could also make statements about who we are and our view on life, and it can make very, very deep statements. So, you know, if you want to talk about human rights, or you want to talk about climate change, or you want to, you know, or you want to talk about the state of the world, or lack of understanding of different topics, political or not, it's a sounding board for all of that. And it's a way that we can express that.
I think it is very important for communities to create that safe place because art is so important in the world, and it's very sad when it's censored. So when artists have a safe place to place their art, it really helps them create more art and helps them feel validated.
Art is so personal, and we're all drawn to different types of arts, and we're all drawn to what it evokes. It evokes emotion in all of us. So if people don't want to try their hand at it, to just simply know, we have so many talented artists here in Castle Rock.
I love Colorado history, Castle Rock history. I've painted a lot of historic buildings and landmarks, and I do that because I love it and it's inspiring subject matter. But then when I found out other people loved it and appreciated it, and it was a way for people to connect with their own community and the history, and so they were excited and wanted to buy my prints and hang them on the wall, and I'm still honored every time somebody buys my art. I think we all have a little piece of a creative side within us, and whether it's visual art, performing art, music, you know, there's so many different forms. But it's something beautiful that we can create as humans that potentially lives on after we're gone. It's a legacy. And so I think that in that sense especially, it's important. And having taken a lot of art history classes in art school, you know, we look back on things that masters did and things that the Romans accomplished, and cathedrals and buildings and paintings, and it speaks about their culture and their history. So I think it's really important to leave that, you know, our generation as well, moving forward, that we all leave that legacy of our creativity.